We are back and in the mood for food. Pasta, that is. Good thing cookbook author and YouTube cooking star Molly Baz is with us, and she has a new cookbook out this morning. I love the title. It's called More is More. It's so cute. It's really great recipes, and she's going to show us one of them. It's a delicious dinner that you might call a lazy lasagna. Welcome back to GMA. Always love when you're here.
Thank you.
Let's get right into this lazy lasagna. You start with 2 meats?
Yeah, so we have a mixture of ground beef and Italian sausage, which makes the base of the ragu.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to add them.
They look almost like little mini meatloaves.
Exactly. So we're making them into meatballs, which allows better browning in the pan because we avoid steaming. And so this is a great way to make sure you get nice caramelized meat at the beginning of the ragu.
So divide it into four big meatballs.
They're going to get broken up later on.
Okay.
This is just the beginning.
Got it.
And then once those are seared and out of the pot, we add all of our aromatics. Yeah. So I have fennel, onion, celery.
Oh, I like the idea of fennel.
Fennel's a little different.
Yeah.
Mimics the flavors of the pork sausage.
Totally.
And then a bunch of chopped herbs. So just sprinkling them in.
And then to taste, that's just sort of your
this whole book is about cooking to taste and cooking with intuition, so it's not necessarily about measuring everything precisely, but
I love that.
Tasting as you go.
Okay.
So
is this something that you wanted to add at this point?
You can add a splash of oil, just to kind of get it going.
I love a little olive
That's
oil,
very
baby.
more is more of you.
I agree. Thank you very much.
So then once those are all simmered and cooked down, they look like this, nice and jammy.
And it smells so good.
And then that's where we add some other secret ingredients.
Yeah, and that's what I loved when I was reading the recipe. There are ingredients that one wouldn't think of for this dish, like miso.
Yeah, so I add miso paste in addition to tomato paste in my ragu because it gives it like a more of a depth of flavor. It's got a savory kind of backbone that I think is really nice in a ragu.
I smell vino.
Yeah,
a little white wine.
Why don't you go ahead? So we're adding both white and red wine.
All of it? Not all of it.
Yeah, add it all.
All right, more is more.
More is more.
Glug, glug. And a little red.
Yeah, because I feel like you don't need to choose which wine to use.
I'm going to go less red because I think sometimes red can overpower a little.
Yeah, I love that for you.
Okay.
And then lastly, we add the meat back in.
So now the meatballs have been crumbled.
Yep.
Those go back in. This is where you get mascarpone cheese involved.
Yeah. So that's the other little deviation from the norm.
Yeah.
I have the finished pasta here, which is made out of broken lasagna noodles.
I love this. This is where it gets really lazy. It doesn't have to be perfectly layered like my mama's lasagna.
This book is all about breaking the rules, and so most people tell you not to break pasta, and I'm like, break it and put it in.
Do it. Do it, Molly.
And then we finish it with mascarpone, so I'm just adding like a big dollop.
So the noodle goes in dry?
Nope, the noodle gets cooked in pasta water.
Because that's a big trend here. We're seeing a lot of noodles.
Yeah, the one pot.
Yeah,
not
totally.
Here.
No, because more is more.
Yeah, more is more. And then we just kind of finish it here. As always with pasta, if you want to add a little bit of the pasta cooking water to loosen it up, it's a good practice. What's the story with that? How much should we save, and why do we do that? I think as a general rule of thumb, like 1 cup of pasta water before you drain the pasta, and that way you can add a splash here or there if the sauce starts to get really tight, because there's nothing worse than dry pasta. Yes. Okay, so it just helps it with that yummy sauciness. Keeping that sauciness. All right, so a great addition to your lazy lasagna, which by the way, we've got the recipe on the QR code. And then we have another QR code that you want to talk about. Yeah, so this book, what's special about it is that it's filled with QR codes on the pages of the book that access audio and video cook-along. So basically, like, you'll pull up your phone and I'll be right in the kitchen there with you, walking you through the recipes. I knew I loved you. There's also a recipe, we're not going to be able to get into it, but please do check out the garlic bread recipe. Triple threat. Triple threat. There's a reason it's called that. That's all I'll say. QR code idea is fantastic. The book is great. It's it's so you. Everybody, more is more. Scan the QR code on the screen to get the recipes. Also on GoodMorningAmerica.com. And Molly's new cookbook is out today. We'll be right back. Anybody want to eat? Yeah. Let's eat.
If you're looking for a hearty dish, something to cook for your crew tonight, because it's fall, you want to feel cozy, look no further than a new cookbook out today. I love the title of this. More is more. Get loose in the kitchen.
I like that. No less is more is more. Joining us now with a delicious recipe from that book is best-selling author Molly Baz. Molly, welcome back.
Thank you.
We've already tasted this too, and it's so good.
I know. I'm going to show you. I'm going to walk you through it. So this is the miso braised chicken and leeks from my book. And it starts with chicken thighs, which which you can see here are unseasoned. And one trick that I feel like people don't normally do to chicken thighs is to lift up the skin and try and kind of season underneath. Ooh. So that you get seasoning on the meat as well as in the skin. And that way it's like flavorful and seasoned all the way through. So I'm using fennel, ground fennel, pepperoncini, black pepper, and salt, and that's the seasoning.
Is there any specific reason why you use thighs?
Thighs, because they stay juicy. When this is gonna braise for like 40 to 50 minutes, and they just get more and more tender as they cook.
Okay.
So I'm a dark meat person. It's just like the juiciest option.
Yeah, I like the dark meat too. It's nice and
tenderoni. So this is a pot here that's been preheating for a couple of minutes. I'm putting a splash of oil in here. You can use any kind of neutral oil. You could use olive oil, vegetable oil, and then I'm just gonna sear these chicken thighs skin side down here. And you really wanna take your time with it, because the most important thing is to render out all the fat and make sure that the skin gets like nice and shattering and crisp and golden brown. So that'll take like 10, 15 minutes, no rush.
okay.
And then once the chicken thighs are all crispy, you remove them from the pot, and that's when we start to add our leeks. So,
And we're cooking them in the fat that's left behind.
right, so we've got chicken fat in the pot here now that's been left behind, and I have these cleaned leeks that I'm cutting in half and then searing, cut sides down. So these are just hanging out here. They take a little bit of time to caramelize as well. Again, we don't rush the process. It kind of takes care of itself. And this is what they look like once they're all roasted. You can see they've become really tender.
And they smell wonderful.
Smell good too.
Yeah, they're smelling good. And then the last thing that we do is we build the braising liquid. So in this recipe, I combine miso paste with sake, and you just kind of whisk it together to loosen up the miso. And that's how you break it up. And this will form kind of the base of the sauce. And then we're gonna dot the sauce with butter. So I don't know if you've ever had miso butter or anything braised with miso butter, but it's like really fatty and really salty and umami and super complex. So it's kind of like a powerhouse combination. So we're gonna pour it into the pot of leeks. We are going to, will you pass me those tongs, please?
Sure.
Thank you. We are going to nestle the chicken back in, because to this point it's only been cooked on the skin side. We're nestling it back into this sake mixture.
Nestle it back in.
I mean,
You
look,
just
they're
place
cozy.
it. Yeah.
They're getting cozy in there. And then we're gonna scatter a little bit of fresh tarragon over. And these are just gonna braise. So you cover the pot and you let time take care of the rest.
Oh, and then that's it.
I saw that happening. I already had some. You gotta go over here. I already had some of that.
Okay. Oh yeah, you had yours. Everybody.
We dove in beforehand because we wanted to have a sampling.
No nuts in there, right?
No.
Okay, good.
No nuts.
Now I can eat the whole thing.
So this is like 40 minutes later. They've been braising, and it's got this really silky, deep sauce with a little bit of fresh tarragon on top. You tell me what you think.
Oh my gosh.
The butter, you do taste the butter, and it's the most amazing.
And salt too.
You need it there. I mean,
But the salt.
I love salt.
It's not
Everybody knows
overwhelming. It fits into everything. Yeah.
Wow.
We love.
Can we just eat more of it?
Thank you for letting me crash the end.
We have to read.
And we didn't have a choice. You were coming in hot.
That's true.
Sorry, we should have eaten from that end so you would have had easier spot. Our thanks to Molly Baz for being here and making us this wonderful lunch today. And her book, More is More, is now available everywhere books are sold. And for today's recipe, you can go to goodmorningamerica.com/food or scan that QR code. It's right there on your screen. And that is what you need to know on this Tuesday. We'll be right back here tomorrow. I'm Eva Pilgrim.
And I'm Phil.